Brett, you have some general thoughts about how Algeria, about the team, about the squad, about the strengths and weaknesses.
I do know that on on Algeria's 30-man roster, they've got 21 players playing in Europe. And while they might not be playing consistently, but they are at least training, they are at least developing their talent, their play inside of Europe. And that's got to be said. I think a lot of people are not overlooking Algeria or Slovenia, but I think that they're sort of not giving them enough credit, what they deserve.
Well, I agree. I mean, when we look at Algeria's lineup, and you mentioned, yes, a lot of them still do not play in top teams. They actually still play at home. But and then the ones that do play overseas don't always get a whole lot of playing time. And you know, I can go through a long list of the guys on Algeria that don't get a lot of playing times. People like Karim Ziani, who plays for Wolfsburg. You know, he's played 9 games in 2 seasons. And then, you know, you still have others like Aldine Guadiarora, who plays for Wolverhampton. Wanderers has only played 14 games this season. That's not a whole lot of games. But then, when we really we look at some of the strengths of the Algerian team, there are things that we need to worry about. One, they do have a couple defenders that stand out. The first one being Belhaj, and if you've been following Portsmouth's travails this year and their struggles, you know that he's been a real backbone for that defense for Portsmouth. He's played 32 games. He's also scored 3 goals. But this is also a guy that's played in France. He knows what he's doing. And I could go down the list because Yahia played at Bochum in Germany. Bruguera is one of those guys that's a France flop over. He's a French citizen, but he has a grandfather or a grandmother that's Algerian. He's a top player. He plays for Rangers. He's played 48 times for Rangers in a few seasons. So he's going to be around. He's going to be somebody we're going to have to look out for. But one of the biggest guys we're going to have to pay attention to is the captain of the team, Yazid Mansouri. He plays for Lorient. He's played for Lorient for a long time. He's a veteran. He's an older guy, born in '78. So, you know, he's been around the block. There's one other veteran I would mention, and that's Rafik Safi, and he plays for Istres right now in France on loan. But he's played for the national team 60 times. He scored, I think, almost 20 goals. So this is a guy, again, we're going to have to pay attention to. The only last guy I would mention is Karim Marmor. And if you've been watching Michael Bradley at all at Borussia Mönchengladbach this year, you know who he is because he's played 50 times for them in the last couple seasons and scored 4 goals. He's a teammate of Michael Bradley. Michael Bradley will know who he is.
I just want to stress that it's not going to be an easy game for us, but out of the 3 teams we're playing, this should be a game that we must expect to win if we want to move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that these guys aren't quality players. It's just that they don't play like a lot of our players do every single game. Michael Bradley, when not injured or not, you know, troubled with cards, plays every game for Mönchengladbach. Dempsey plays every game for Fulham, and I could go down the line. A lot of our guys, like Cherundolo, they are mainstays on their teams in Germany, in England, and so that's a little different than some of the guys on this Algerian team. The next team is Slovenia.
So it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a game we're going to demand. We need to expect to get a result, whether it be a draw or a win, if we have any hopes of moving on. I mean, they've got 4 players that play in Italy at some level. They've got 4 players playing in Germany, and then they've got a bunch of random players that playing in not random players, but players playing in random leagues. Some like Turkey, the Netherlands, Romania, Greece, Belgium, Sweden.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
I believe you made the comment earlier that they actually have a sense of how to play with their national team because they've grown up playing that style of soccer.
Right.
So it won't be as big of a concern as far as like the U.S., where we have no real sense of, you know, style of play. We're divided as far as the style of play within the U.S.
Do you think that's That's totally true, and we can have a big debate on that. I think that we're kind of playing that counterattacking soccer, even to the point where my brother was watching Interplay the other day, where they had 6 guys behind the ball on defense the whole game through, kind of like we play in international ball, and we counterattack. And I think that is our game.
I would argue that that's our game for our current squad that Bob Bradley brings in. There are various, I mean, mind you, not right now, but especially in the youth squads that are coming up, there are various players that don't fit that archetype.
Maybe so. They might find themselves out in the cold, like Freddie Adu.
Very much so. I agree, and it depends on who we get as a national coach and the style of play that they opt to play.
Right.
So.
Right now, we play Josie Marino ball, whether we like it or not. I'm going to run down some of the Slovenia national team guys we should probably keep an eye out for. Samir Handanovic, who is their goalkeeper. He's played 100 times for Udinese, so this guy knows what he's doing, so we're not going to get anything easy as far as the goalkeepers go. Miso Breco plays on the defensive end for Cologne in the Bundesliga, so this is another player that players like Bradley and Cherundolo will be familiar with, and this is what gives us an edge. Players like Bojan Jokic, who plays a lot for Slovenia and will probably start, plays for Chievo in Italy. He's only played 3 times. Same thing goes for Cesar, who starts all the time for Slovenia, but he's played 0 times for Chievo this season. So there are a lot of those instances. At the same time, look out for Robert Corrin, who plays for West Brom, who just got promoted to the EPL. Here's a guy that's played 126 games for West Brom, knows what he's doing. One of my big guys to look out for, because he is a big guy, is 6'4", Novakovic, who is a big guy. He's going to be somebody's going to put Gooch and whoever plays next to Gooch in the center back position to test. He's played 108 games for Cologne in the Bundesliga and scored 51 times. That means when he steps on the field, he's got a 50% chance of scoring in that game. So, and the guy that plays next to him, Slatko Dedic, again, he plays in the Bundesliga as well for Bochum. He played 27 games and scored 5 goals for Bochum. Again, a guy to just keep your eye out for. And do we really need to cover much on England? I mean, we all know England, right?
Just watching England play Mexico today, it was pretty apparent that they're going to go straight through their wings and challenge our back. I mean, I know we mentioned this earlier.
Right.
As far as who we can expect to play on the outsides. I think they're going to go a lot through Walcott. I mean, he showed a lot today that, you know, he made a couple of the of Mexico's left sides look like they were just grade school children.
Yeah.
He had them falling over backwards, and he caused a lot of problems. And I just think it's between his speed and his talent that it's going to be a challenge. I think that's where
and Walcott's
we're really going to face a problem. So.
And Walcott's probably a bench player, to be honest with you. You know who really probably plays that on that wing, who's pretty quick, and Gerard. I mean, it could be Gerard. It could be a number of other different players. Lennon, who are, you know, these are quick guys. And whoever's playing on the wings for England, they're not going to be slow. So that's going to be something we're going to have to take into consideration. All right, let's go for the predictions. U.S. versus Slovenia, your score.
My score, I would love to say U.S. 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, that's one that we need. If we have any hopes of making the past the groups, we need to get a result there.
I'm going to say against Slovenia, we tie that 1-1-1. I'm not going to go into why. I just think that we always seem to have problems with Czech Republic, Slovenia type teams, Eastern European teams. But when we get out east, for some reason, we seem to have problems. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 score there. Let's move to Algeria and let's make it quick.
I'm going to go with. I'll go on a limb and say 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that score. 2-0 United States over Algeria. Maybe 2-1, but I think we've just got too much firepower. All right, USA, England.
Being realistic, I'm going to go say at least either 2-0 or 1-0, depending on how well our defense actually plays.
Here's where I think we surprise the world. I think we're going to tie this one too. I think it's going to be a 1-1 tie or a 2-2 tie, and the United States is going to get out of this group with a win and 2 ties.